Lost Ark has obviously exploded onto the scene ever since the North American and European release. And since it's a game that's been around for a while, there are a ton of videos out there, all kinds of resources, whether you're just starting the game or you're deep into it. But even though a lot of those beginner videos have a lot of valuable information, some of them are focusing on things like engraving or other game aspects that you're not even going to see for hours into the game. So I wanted to make a video that was a little bit different. This is just about starting the game, whether you're new to MMOs, whether you're just coming over from WoW, Final Fantasy, another MMO, just to make sure that you can get into Lost Ark and have the most fun as possible right from the jump. You can really decide if it's something you want to add into your rotation or if it's the MMO for you. As of this video, I'm 50 hours into the game, so I've had plenty of time to decide if I think it's fun, if I'm having a good time with it. Spoiler alert, I am. Also asked members of our Discord, they're a lot more familiar with WoW and Final Fantasy XIV, for any tips they have if you're coming over from those MMOs, anything that makes Lost Ark a little bit different, things to look out for. So we've put all that together for a guide to help you have the most fun starting out on your quest in Lost Ark. So it doesn't matter if this is your first MMO in a while or ever, or if you're coming from one of those other MMOs, there should be something here for you. Feel free to add any beginner tips down in the comments below. Let me know what you found especially helpful, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more Lost Ark content. Now, without further ado, let's make sure you have some fun while you're in Arkesia. First, as with any MMO, you gotta pick your class. And while some other MMOs really rely heavily on support, DPS, tanks, Lost Ark is a little bit different. Pick whatever you want. Seriously. You can try out the different classes in the tutorial section, but really whatever fits your playstyle most or whatever you think you're going to have the most fun with is what you should pick. Somewhat obviously, if you are going to end up spending hundreds of hours in the game, you probably going to spend it playing something that you enjoy. Coming from any knowledgeable player in the game, all of the tier lists and stuff like that, pretty much a joke. The only real composition I've seen talked about is 1 support like a bard to 3 DPS. Some of the other classes like Paladin have a lot of split abilities that are support and DPS. That being said, the game is 3 years old, has tons of resources. I did check out this video from Stoopzz, which you should also check out too after you watch this one, if you want a real deep dive on all of the classes in the game and what might be best for you. Unlike this video, it is an hour long, but all the classes are broken up into chapters, so it's a good watch maybe if you already have something in mind. Without making it sound boring, the Lost Ark quests really do follow a pretty linear path through the world. Most of the side quests aren't really all that time consuming. One of my favorites is move this rock 3 feet to the right. So you don't really need to feel like you need to save some quests to go back to or just do the main storyline quests, as all of them really follow a forward path through the game. This will help keep your level rising and add to your adventure tome, which is a checklist of items in each region that has its own rewards. Once you have your trade skills like mining, fishing, foraging, it pays to use those abilities and collect those items along the way, as it boosts those abilities, levels them up, and helps strengthen and get you materials for your stronghold. And while most of the quests follow a pretty linear path, this is a game that does reward exploration. If you're a completionist and you really want to get all those Makoko seeds and all those other items, it really pays to check your corners if you want to take the time. But along that linear note, the game is very clear about what's coming up next. In my 50 some hours of playtime, I have not been confused about what was ready to upgrade, what items were better, where I was supposed to go next, or really what did what. Obviously, some of the deeper game mechanics are going to require some research and a little bit of learning. Quests are easily located with the little compass icon next to them on the right of your screen. A quick press of the escape key will show all of your different menus with any red dot notifications on them. And this includes new items, currency, etc. Any new gear in your inventory that's better than what you have equipped will have a blue up arrow on it. And you just right click that better equipment to equip it. And then just right click everything in your inventory to use it or apply it to that character. Go nuts. The only place where that doesn't quite work out are with the rings and earrings. For whatever reason, it'll equip the best available to the first slot, but if you have another one that's better than the one in your second slot, right clicking won't automatically do that. You'll have to bring up your character inventory and manually drag that over. Anybody has a solution for this or a reason why it's like that, please comment. Please let us know how to fix it. Minor inconvenience though. As far as other items go, Yes, the Deadeye does have 3 gun modes, but he only has 1 gun to equip and or upgrade. Don't be like Harrison, looking for 2 other guns that don't exist. Some things that you should save for yourself later in the game are percentage potions. If you look at health potions, some of them say they heal a certain amount of health over a period of time. Other ones say that they will heal a certain percentage of health. If you think about it mathematically, late game, you're going to have thousands, possibly tens of thousands of HP. So percentage gives you a lot more healing than maybe something that does, just 1,000 HP of healing. Also, your gold gets a lot more valuable with late game with things like engraving. Engraving is another thing. Definitely going to want to hit up another YouTube video to learn about the ins and outs of that. Make sure you really understand it when you get there. If you see any items in your inventory with an exclamation mark, that means it's a quest item. I've only seen 1 so far, but it did confuse me when I saw it. And you will get items that are completely useless. Whether you buy them, like the Demon Book, which I wish I could display in my stronghold, or the rice you get from that one pet quest. Can't cook with it, throw it out. Most of your keybinds can be swapped out, except for the movement and attack buttons, which you select in the tutorial beginning of the game, and the use key, which is G by default. Just think about that before whatever you select in the prologue, early part of the game. 2 of my most used keys are auto run, which is T by default, and summon mount, which I had on the 9 key. So I just mounted those to the 2 side buttons on my mouse. Much easier, much more convenient. I have been fine with every other keybind being on default though. Other useful buttons include using the middle mouse button to drag your quick map, which is tab by default. Also on the quick map, you can alt click onto triports that you've already unlocked to travel to them. If you skipped the NPC explaining triports, you should be unlocking every single one of them along the way, and usually I'll unlock them if I'm even remotely close to them, because you'll be going to them at some point. Speaking of clicking, you can change the cursor color in the settings if you're losing it in enemies or on the map, on the screen at all. You can change those settings there. Lastly, gameplay. Besides the constant stream of quests and activities and items, the gameplay in Lost Ark really is the most rewarding part, and definitely the biggest thing that's kept me hooked. Comboing attacks as the Deadeye has just been so rewarding right from the jump. Bringing up the attack menu can seem so daunting, so many skills and abilities, so few skill points, but you can respec those at any time without any penalty. You can also save builds that you can go back to for certain scenarios, really useful for something like a paladin, where maybe you want to be more support or you want to focus on DPS. It may seem obvious, but keep moving. The spacebar is your dodge button by default. Every class has it, and it not only feels really badass to use at the appropriate time, it's essential in those boss battles where all the attacks are randomized. I didn't die for the first time in the game until after level 30, and that was while I let myself get swarmed while soloing a dungeon. So even on hard, it's not a Herculean task to take them on or get through them, but matchmaking is also often instant, and I haven't had any problems with it. So that's really just personal preference. And I did end up still soloing that dungeon, just slowly. That's it. Go have fun. Now that you know how to get into the game comfortably and smoothly. Like I said, feel free to share any tips you think I missed down below. Let me know what you found useful and helpful. Like and subscribe, and I'll keep the Lost Ark content coming. And maybe I'll see you in Ozina.